past, you may have seen people talking about unemployment, CPI, and inflation. But what is it exactly? Let's start with the basics. Unemployment is simply the state of being unemployed. In other words, this means that one can only be seen as unemployed if you can provide evidence that you've made an attempt to search for a job in the past 4 weeks. Additionally, you must be 16 or older to be considered a part of the labor force. Next, there's the natural rate of unemployment, or the lowest rate of unemployment an economy will reach. The natural rate of unemployment in the economy should be below 5% and indicates that the economy is doing well. Moreover, having above 5% unemployment is terrible, as it shows that an economy is experiencing cyclical unemployment. There are 3 distinct categories of unemployment: frictional, structural, and cyclical. Frictional unemployment is where workers are temporarily transitioning between jobs. This kind of unemployment is good, as it shows that the economy is growing, with an example of mothers who rejoin the workforce after they've raised their children. Then there's structural unemployment, where workers have inefficient skills that employers no longer demand. This type of unemployment is good, as it shows that there is a growth in the economy. Structural unemployment is also a part of natural unemployment. An example of this would be a repairman who had learned how to fix a typewriter, but then needed to update his skill set to be able to fix a computer or a keyboard. Then there's cyclical unemployment, which is a result of a recession or a drop in the business cycle. Cyclical unemployment is bad, as it shows that your economy is in a contraction or drought phase, which in turn results in people losing jobs. An example of this would be an automobile worker being laid off during a recession to cut labor costs. The CPI, or Consumer Price Index, can be defined as an index of the variation in prices paid by typical consumers for retail goods and other items. Avocados can be used as an example, as the price of an avocado in 2000 was $1.50, which is significantly different to the price now, which is $3. To calculate CPI, you first have to add together a sampling of product prices from the previous year, then add together the current prices of the same products, and then divide the total of the current prices by the old prices, and then multiply the result by 100. Finally, to find the percent change, subtract 100. Inflation is the general rise in the level of prices over time. Inflation will also decrease the value of individuals' savings, as the money they have saved has lost its value. Some causes of inflation include national debt and exchange rates. Additionally, there are 2 types of inflation: cost-push inflation, where there is a substantial increase in the cost of goods or services with no sustainable alternative. An example being an increase in the price of oil. This increases the cost of production for almost all goods and services and results in immediate increase in inflation. The other is demand pull inflation, and this is when aggregate demand in an economy outpaces aggregate supply and rising as real gross domestic product rises and unemployment falls. An example being an increase in government spending can increase aggregate demand, thus raising prices.